How's everybody doing? We got food, we got handouts, we got Brent Jones. Come on. It doesn't get any better than this here. It doesn't get any better than this here, you know? Jeez, Louise here. Hope everyone's doing well. What's today? August 22nd. I don't know, what are we, 8 months into this thing. Bunch of stuff to talk about. We'll get to Brent in a minute. He's really going to cover the things that are happening now that affect the value of the home that we disregard as agents sometimes, meaning it closes, you're the listing agent, and then 3 months later, an appraiser might call you and say, Nathan, that house that closed on a Banana Street back in February, what was the seller concessions, and did you pay a buyer co-op? Are you going to want that phone call? No. You're going to get it. Because that information is not in MLS anymore for the appraisers to kind of do the job. But Brent's... There you go. Maybe you use Brent's AI service that he has to do it for you. I don't know, but I don't want to steal Brent's thunder. Some other stuff before we get to Brent. There he is. How old is that picture? No, I'm kidding. Okay, that's a glamour shot. All right, guys. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah. Yeah, the one in the yard was the funniest.
Is this legit? Is it legal? Who thinks it's legal? That you can do it? Does anybody think you can do it? Who said yes? Brittany Barnett gets a t-shirt. You can do that. Do we want you to do it? Absolutely not. Okay? Because this could be a lawsuit waiting to happen. Okay, so it's really important. This was the best one. Where's the guy with the 3?
I love that one.
That's an agent, and that's his house. And he's not selling it. He just did it for shits and giggles to see what would happen. And he got, obviously, a lot of attention from it as a realtor. And he goes, no, I'm not selling my house. I just put that in my backyard just to see what happens. Pretty clever, I think, right? He's not going to get into trouble. Exactly. Could be anything. So, real smart guy. This was on Inman. And again, we preach Inman to you guys a lot. And some of the service at Inman you have to pay for. And it's a couple $100 a year. You might want to do that if you want. I think it's worth it. I do it when he does it. But even their free stuff that's on their website every day is good. And this was a free thing on their website. That was one of their articles. So funny stuff. 3%. What else we got here? Okay, gang. All right. You might say, what the hell is this, right? Okay. There's Cuba. In case you don't know who Cuba is, that's Cuba. And that's the rest of us in here. And, well, let me play this and we'll explain. Will it work, Suze? Love the rats, the mice. All right, let's see if we can make this bigger. Let's play. I think I can do that. Did you have those shoes? You had those shoes in the 70s, I think you did.
I'm not sure how I'm going to follow this.
I know, that's a tough one, yeah. All right, you might say, Tim, what the F are you doing here, right? What's going on here, The reason we did that, if I can get back to where I was, Suze, without messing this whole thing up, all right, here, I think, all right? Every year we have a holiday party, right? And we've had it in the past at, like, Bears Best and, I don't know, Stratosphere one year and somewhere. But Cuba wanted us to do something different. He goes, you can go back to Bears Best again and whatever. But we came up with an idea from Suzanne to do it at Stoney's North 40, the country bar. So I don't know if you're all country fans, but if you notice, Susan has some boots on today. She's got little gold boots going there today. Okay, but this is going to be the Christmas party. We're giving you guys 4 months notice. It's not until December. It's a Friday. It'll be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's free for everybody, except everyone pays $11. The $11 goes to our charity that we not sure if we've picked yet.
You have a charity?
Right. If you have a charity that you want to get, it's usually a couple of grand that we collect. send it to Suzanne, and then in November, we'll have a little committee that meets, and we'll vet the local charities, and they'll get the money. So we've given it to Safe Nest in the past, and Project 150, and I don't know who else. So if you have a charity, a local charity, give it to Suzanne. They might be able to get a couple of bucks. Huh? No, 49. 49 for gas. 49 for gas. I think it only fits 125 people total.
We get more, they'll expand it.
They'll expand it, but if you're going to go, there'll be an Eventbrite link, right, Suze? So there'll be an Eventbrite QR code coming soon. But I still want to give all you guys a heads up. It's not going to be your normal good old dressed up for holidays, Christmas party. We're gonna. You got a cowboy hat? You do. Oh wow. Okay.
That's North Las Vegas, right?
It is not. No, it's Las Vegas. Rancho in 95. Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, we should put Santa Fe Hotel on there too when we redo it. It's in the Santa Fe Casino. It's really nice. It's a really big room. Okay. So that's that. Later on,
For a Summerlin or any office.
anybody can come, but each office has their own. Just so you know. So you can go to all of
I
them.
know people here, I know people.
That a girl. Come on down. Come on down.
The whole night's gonna be country music? You know I'm gonna be tripping.
Right. I guess you'll have to Garth Brooks it for the night.
And see what kind of music they play.
There you go. Come on. You'll come on. 3 hours. You'll get past this. I'm sure. Take a pill or something. You'll be fine. Okay. Later in the month, we're gonna have a little taco thing. It's the end of the summer. Back to school. We're not gonna do the taco truck, but we're gonna do a bunch of tacos on Thursday, the 29th, right after the meeting. So hang out for some tacos right after that. Best of Las Vegas. We've won this a few times, right? They didn't. Rock Title was Rock Title. Did you guys win this once or twice? I think they have. Silver or something? Okay. And I think a team in Green Valley came in bronze or something. But it's kind of fun. So if you want to vote Best of Las Vegas, there's a bunch of categories. You all know what it is, right? You've lived here a long time. Click on it. You can vote.
Barnett's in there as a luxury exit.
You can vote. You can vote early and often.
You know that, did you?
You what? They threw you in there, Brittany. There you go. So Best of Las Vegas. All right, let's talk about the numbers real quick. As of yesterday, there was 7,228 total properties for sale. How many were there last year? Funny you should ask. 4,395. Holy moly. That's a big difference. Is that a good thing?
For buyers.
It's a good thing for everybody, I think, And actually, it's not that bad for sellers because look at the price. $480. Last year, it was $450. So I was talking to Brent before this. Usually, when this goes up, this goes down. Not all the time, but, if there was 14,000 homes, prices would not be going up probably, because there's so much inventory. But it's kind of a weird thing that's going on, but it's a good thing, okay? Yeah, so this is a good thing. You guys need to know this stuff, okay? I'm waiting for someone to do a TikTok video with this in the background, talking to their clients. You should be doing that stuff.
Hey, Tim, one of the things we have noticed is that the builders are now more likely to be listing their properties in the MLS, which is part and parcel. That's what we're seeing, part of that median price increase. It may be a little bit inflated because of all of those listings now being on.
Very nice, yes.
Why are they listing them?
Because they need you now.
That's it, it's a supply and demand.
Show a co-op, so it doesn't hurt them.
All right. And speaking of the new builds, we're gonna have some new builders come in soon. You got the email I sent you from Pulte. Okay, I think that's gonna be common with everybody. They're gonna want a BBRA when you walk in the door. Maybe not look at it, I don't know. Maybe when you walk into Pulte, they do ask you for it, I don't know.
What happened to our, our agency, to our buyer? We have to show it to the seller.
To the builder.
Yeah, well, the seller.
You don't have to, then they just won't let you in the door.
But Pulte says you do.
Huh?
To get paid.
Say it again?
Pulte says that you do have to show it in order to get paid.
Right, in case they're not offering a co-op, because they might not offer a co-op.
Doesn't that go against the DOJ saying?
Right.
What?
Exactly.
Say it again.
Why would we be showing a contract between ourselves and our?
Okay, we don't know if they want you to show it when you walk in the door or have it, like Kathleen, and I'm not speaking for her, but I think Rock Title's gonna want you to send it at closing to confirm fees also, correct? Oh.
because we have to disclose to the lender if the buyer's paid any.
Lender needs to see it.
Oh, here we go. Everybody's throwing their 2 cents in here now. Son of a bitch. What are you killing me here, you know? We're having fun. We had a little Christmas thing going, and you know. But don't get twisted about the builder thing. They could change it next week. It's like Brent said. They need us now. They're putting houses in MLS. They normally never do that, right? So obviously there's a need. The foot traffic must be slow. But it's a good concern, Linda, and I'll look into that. I think that's a good concern. Okay. Yeah. All right. You go sit in the back. No. Come here. No. You sit back here. I hate somebody sitting behind me. It's a Tim thing, you know. It's an Italian thing. You got to sit there, you know. Like when you go to a restaurant, you always sit in the corner.
Monitor.
Yeah.
I sit over there.
Yeah. We have all these little quirky things, you know. So anyway, these are the numbers. Love them, hate them, whatever you want to do. Make sure you're using this. We're proud of this. We're number 1, top 10 companies last year, year before that, year before that. So it's a good slide to have if you don't have it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. Okay, Suzanne is going to upload stuff often, and it'd be nice if you got an alert. I'm not saying you have to watch it right away, but at least you'll know it's there, instead of it being there for 2 weeks, and then we tell you it's there, and then you go see it. So subscribe to it so you get the alerts. Don't forget the websites from NAR. We beat them to death. Okay, upcoming stuff. Right after this class, the incomparable John Morgan is doing a Mortgage 101 class. He did it in Tuesday in the Northwest. Had a full house, went really well. So I recommend, if you can, stay for after the class, grab some more food. And it's not a Mortgage 101 class where like you've never done a loan before, okay? And I think because of what's happening, yeah. Right, and my favorite word when I was a full-time agent at RE/MAX was lender credit. Now, he's laughing because they don't like that. But come on, Joe, give me some lender credit to get this deal done. And they have some really cool programs with rates just for us that could get you a half of a point, a point and a half. On a $600,000 home, that's $8 or $9 grand that they might participate in the deal to get it closed if your buyer doesn't have all the funds. So it's going to be a fun class. So make sure you do that. Global Day next month. Rena was here at LVR. All of you that are interested in the international stuff, I think that's worth going. It's $40. It's all day. A lot of good stuff if you want to get into learning how to do deals in Europe or other parts of the world. Who doesn't have their ABR? Okay, you need to take the class. Okay, everyone needs to have their ABR. Particularly now, it's free. You don't have to pay for it. Okay. If you're new, like Parker, you're going to take the class, but I don't think you get the designation because you're new. You don't have any experience. You haven't sold any homes. But you should go just for what you're going to learn. And this is going to be taught by Tamara. If you don't know who Tamara is, great instructor. It's going to be here Wednesday and Thursday, I think. Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay. Sign up with that QR code. Suzanne cannot help you sign up. I cannot help you sign up. The QR code, because it's through Key. It's not through us. Key Realty is running the show for this, okay? Somebody have their hand up? No? All right, kids, moving right along. Here's RevUp for your new agents. It's all on Zoom now. It's going well. I think yesterday we had 14 or 15 on Zoom, where when we did it live, we had half of that number. So the Zoom, RevUp's going well. Don't forget Justin. Heather might touch upon this Monday and Thursday. Justin is still doing these 2 classes, particularly if you're new. You want to jump on the One Suite, which is the CRM, and One Orientation, which is just Realty One in general, all the ins and outs of the company. Wendy's Mastermind Group is still meeting on Tuesdays. That's our calendar, and I think Heather's here, right? Yeah, Heather's going to talk about maybe a rock title calendar, because this one's getting a little, like, I can't read that.
A little busy.
Yeah, I don't know what that says. Maybe it's my vision or something, but we're gonna have now a second calendar, so it'd be a little bit easier to follow. All right, gang. We only have one appraiser ever come in the office, I think, since I've been here, and it's Brent. Brent's been doing this for a long time. I knew him years ago when I got a couple of REO accounts back in the day when I first started. I got lucky, got something from RE/MAX. But ladies and gentlemen, Brent Jones, there he is. Give him a wealth of information. Why don't you let me do this?
That's
yeah,
right.
let me get.
You haven't even done anything yet.
I know, right?
All right. Good morning. You guys know the drill. Come on, we're talking appraisals here. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I don't want to just stand up here and talk. I want you guys to all ask questions the whole time I'm here. All right.
Here, if you want this.
Thank you.
Or you want, I can play
Oh,
with
look,
it.
You did it all fancy where it came.
Look at this. This is a Realty One Group Summerlin. Come on. What do you think? Come on.
First question, how many of you have my cell phone number? Okay, for those of you who don't, I'm gonna give it to you. 702-591-7245. Now, with that, I'm gonna make you all raise your right hand. Come on, play with me here. I promise I will not call Brent to pull my comps for me. Right, we got a deal, or we're off to a good start on that? Okay. What I will do for you is this, okay? I'm a resource for you. Look, I have 34 years in this industry. This is my way of giving back to you. If you have a question about a appraisal that came in low, if you need to get another set of eyes on it, within my 30 years, I spent 5 years with Fannie Mae as a senior analyst. That's all I did was review appraisals. So anything I can do to help you, I can look at a file and tell you very quickly whether or not
Yeah,
there's
I
something
forgot.
the appraiser
But I will,
did
yeah.
that
Once he goes
may
off.
or may not be questionable, okay? Other things, if you just get a property where you just don't know what an appraiser would do with it, or you don't know what to do with it, whether I call them unicorn properties, and you just want to pick somebody's brain, please feel free to text me, call me. I'm pretty good about getting back. And if not, one of my analysts will take the call. All right? I'm a resource for you. Tim's been a big supporter of mine. Always had me here. I get a lot of business out of talking about these for pre-listing and cash and probate. So this is good business for me as well. So please take advantage of myself as a resource. Over the last couple weeks, obviously, with the settlement now, in the books. Okay, everybody's asking the question, well, how are appraisals? What's going to happen with appraisals? And so, really the key thing, I think, let's break it down. All anybody really cares about on the appraisal is what? What? Okay, well, that's pretty good. Whether we delay your closing because of the appraisal, because we're going to be late on it, and hold up in John's world, because we're going to be the one responsible for that. And the second thing is, did it come in at contract or above, right? So what I want to talk about today, this deck that we created, is about minimizing appraisal gap and still getting your deal structured, right? Okay, so before we had concessions. You had a buyer who needed $10,000 in closing costs, you have a property listed for $500,000, and guess what? We now need $10,000 in closing costs, and the seller says, I don't want to pay that, so we're gonna now make that $510,000. So I'm gonna talk a little about what the red flags are now. Okay, so the biggest red flag is if you have a property listed at $500,000, been on the market 30 days, and all of a sudden you've got an offer to pay commissions, buyer commissions, and they need 4% in closing costs, and so magically, the sales price is now $520,000. Makes the hair on my arm stand up, because I know that if somebody came in cash, that property, somebody would write a check for $500,000. So when you are talking to your sellers and trying to get these deals negotiated and talking with the buyer's agent, realize there's got to be comps. That's what it really boils down to. Know your comps, know the concessions on those comps, because aside from the big red flag of going over list price to get your deal structured, the second red flag is now we have to call, even though the concessions aren't listed for the comps, we have to call and verify. So if we've got a comp that's at $500,000 that had $20,000 in seller concessions, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, along with VA, FHA, are asking the appraiser, is this now going to be a downward adjustment to that comp? Is that $500,000 comp now from the get-go $480,000? These are all things to just set expectation. If somebody asks me what an appraiser is going to do, I don't know what appraisers are going to do. I think all you can do is tell your buyers and your sellers that, look, this concession commission is going to be tricky. Everybody's going to have an offer. Everybody's going to be offering different things, and I want to caution you. If you get into a negotiation, do as much over the phone or text. Don't have it in the contract. I don't want to see a contract with 5 counter offers, with 5 different iterations of closing costs, seller commissions, buyer commissions, and new different sales prices. Because what that does is it tells me it's a transaction price and not market value. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions so far? You guys haven't asked a question, Steve? Oh, there you go. Okay, good.
So I just showed a property, called the agent, she said they weren't offering a co-op. But she had priced the property considerably lower than all the other properties in the area. And she explained to me she did that intentionally so that you could write your offer higher and cover that, the co-op. So how does an appraiser look at that?
I would have gone the other way. I would have said list it higher to be able to have some negotiating room underneath list price. Now, the caveat, if it's, the house has been on the market for 2 days and it's under market and it's got multiple offers, that I can explain. But I can't explain the house has been on the market 30, 45 days and now it just magically has gone up, okay? So always look at it in the context of how long that home's been on the market as to whether or not there is a red flag. I know the deal in the east right now, it's losing 300,000, way below market, it's got multiple offers. That I can explain, but I can't explain it if the house has been sitting and now it's just because we've got that special buyer that needs commissions, concessions, and the seller's not willing to budge. That's gonna be a red flag. Yes?
I've also heard of it, and I wanted to ask you, going the other way, in that if the property is, say, $550, and we're gonna put an offer in for $550, but the seller says not do not do the agent commission, and I've heard agents say, well, we just up the price so that it doubles up my commission.
Again.
I just
Yeah,
saying what I've heard from
again,
the grapevine. And
right, and so exactly those scenarios you're talking about is why now the sales price, when we see these different iterations, it's not gonna be a rubber stamp of market value, okay? It's gonna be about what the comps are. You still need to do the research, okay? So when you open an escrow, the first question a lender should ask you, or you should ask yourself, are, hey, are there comps for this? Have I called the agents and asked what concessions were paid for those comps? Are there gonna be conditions that I need to expect or are probably going to get called out? And the most important thing, am I taking this sales price going to be over that list price far enough where that appraiser will not be able to justify it? He's not gonna get there. You guys all know that appraisers don't wanna come in low under your contracts. Do you know that? Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to read the report then. Everybody asks for the report. I get a guy like Tim, I've been doing this 30 years, never priced a property wrong. And here's some other interesting news along all this. At the end of October, if you do have an appraisal come in low, you're the listing agent and you want to appeal it, you want to give us new comps and a reconsideration of value, now it has to be initiated by the buyer. No longer can everybody just kind of maneuver the deal between themselves and let everybody know later. The buyer will have to initiate it. It will now go through the lender's underwriter to determine whether the reconsideration of value meets all appraisal independence guidelines and is in fact a valid reconsideration. Then it will go to the AMC, the appraisal management company, and it will go to the appraiser. It's added about 12 steps and will add probably 4 days to a closing if you get down to the point where, so get the appraisals ordered early in the process. Have your lender make sure that's what they're doing, because there could be delays on this reconsideration of value process. I had my first one up in Reno. Listing agent said, I want to appeal this. The buyer said, nope.
Of course.
Nope.
I'm happy with that, right? If I'm the buyer,
Well,
right?
I can tell you, you know what, the buyer basically said, hey, this is my best offer, and so the jury's still out on how this one's come out, but it's going to change the whole dynamic of that.
Wow.
It's very interesting. You talked about inventory. Guys, watch the inventory. I'm telling you what, this is gonna be the biggest indication of where this market is going. Because we sat at 4,700 homes forever and ever and ever, and now we're at 6,700. That's crazy. That's a great, healthy number. We need the sales now. Hopefully we get some election year, we get some rates, John, it moved down. I mean, the 10 years at what, 380, something like?
Well, bumped up to the 3.38, but it was a 3.79, 3.70
Yeah.
yesterday.
I mean, there's buyers, there's sellers, and yeah, sellers are have that, I know this will be a surprise to you, they have a little expectation about what their house is worth, right? So,
Yeah.
So recently in the paper and, in new homes, they're experiencing high cancellation. Do we have any idea why?
You look at a house under $400,000, okay, it's not as much house as it bought. And with the payment, there's payment shock, there's other, it's not just mortgages now, it's insurance, there's a number of different costs that now go along with buying a home. I mean, in California now, it's not about what the mortgage rate is, but whether you can get insurance. I mean, it's crazy, but here's where we're always gonna be. We're gonna be the place, California, we're gonna be on their list of places that California wants to go. And let me tell you what, they're not gonna be able to get insurance if they're anywhere near a wildfire zone. And there was an absolutely stunning number how many homes in California were impacted by that. So, but their prices still go up and up. Who watches $1 Million Listing with me? Come on.
They're just afraid to admit it, Brent. They're afraid to
Can I
admit
just say
it.
something? Did all the women come off a conveyor belt?
Oh.
I mean, so I watched it last night. Wow, this is crazy. Oh, it's worth 15 million. I mean, they're just throwing numbers out. Where's the comps? So anyhow, what do you guys want to talk about? You don't want to talk about that? That's good. All right. Yeah.
If you call, another agent and say, I'm listing a home in your neighborhood and I see you have one that's pending, can they give you that information?
Shoot her in the head.
That makes me end. Will they is the other question. Yeah.
Depends on the listing agreement, if seller allows.
Right, right. So, we have some softwares that last time I was here, we talked about valuetest.ai. How many of you signed up for that?
Everybody. No, kidding.
Okay, it's free, guys, free unlimited use. Go to valuetest.ai. You sign up with your, your GOVAR login for the registration. Here's what it is. It's not another automated value. It's really a way for you to double check
It's actually pretty good.
CMAs and
I
any
played with it.
online
Pretty good.
values for what's under the hood in terms of what an appraiser is going to look at in terms of comps. So what it does is it combines what I do as an appraiser, my appraisal search parameters, and what it does is it then takes AI and goes through similarity scoring to hopefully give you the best 4 sales and the best 2 listings that are more than likely going to be on an appraiser's radar. We have 2 different searches in it. There's a very small parameters, 10% square footage. It have another one, a secondary one that's 20%. It's going to go out 1 mile on the first one. It'll go out 2 miles on the second. So the goal is for you to be able to go, when you have a buyer, you go to a buyer and they say, you know what, you're trying to show your worth, you can say, look, I use this tool, we're gonna run this at every home we're gonna look at. We're gonna use this AI in our pricing to get you the sharpest price. As a listing agent, if you're going in and you know Zillow says 800, you can test that value at 800 and say, hey, look, I know Zillow says 800, here are the comps I pulled, this is a service I use from an appraisal research company, do you see 800 anywhere here on this? So what we did is we just give you a range of comps, we don't give you values because we didn't want to pigeonhole you into a corner where the value was wrong. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what the inside of the house looks like. We don't know what the influences are in the specific neighborhoods. You guys know more about the neighborhoods than we do as appraisers. But it just gives you something to validate, and especially for newer agents, it gives you a way to say, hey, I've only been doing this for a couple of years, but guess what? I've got these kind of tools that will help us get you the highest prices as a seller and get you the sharpest price as a buyer. So please avail yourself of it. We've got about 600 agents using it now. It's free, unlimited use. There's no catch. I'm not coming back to you in 30 days going, hey, it's now $80. Okay, and we're gonna keep it this way. We will have ad-supported use coming up where we're gonna be, you'll have advertising that you're gonna have to look at. The second product we've got is actually for the loan officers. Now, John will be able to have this same information using public record data. And so what that means is now when you go to negotiate a deal, and John's involved, you're trying to figure out, you're pre-qualing them and what they're gonna need for costs and what they're gonna need for commissions. Now, John will have this information in front of him. You will have the information from the MLS, and between the three of you, you can probably figure out what sales price you can get to with what level of commissions and what level of concessions without having an appraisal issue. And that's the goal, data transparency between all the partners in the transaction. So we're launching that, John. That actually goes up. You'll be able to register for that next week. Okay, great product. And again, it's just something else. You know, you're still going to use. How many use RPR? Okay, great. I mean, great information. What we did here is we made it super simple. It's a 4-page report. Hello, how are you? 4-page report, and it's just comps. That's really all it is. But again, you can go in the interface, you can click onto each one, look at what's the interior photos, and be able to see how your property compares. So those are the two software the deals we're doing. And again, it's gonna get tricky here with how these changes are gonna impact appraisals. But like I said, if you get any appraisals that come in low, and John, this goes for you as well, anything comes in low, you want me to take a look at it, please. I think that's the way that some appraisers may handle the commissions and the concessions may not be what the agencies have asked them to do. So, because basically they said to us, hey, it's baked in the cake. You know, if commissions are normal and, you know, basically kind of normal and customary, that an appraiser isn't supposed to make a downward adjustment for that. All right, questions while I'm here?
Uh-oh, another one.
Out? Am I ready? Can I go?
So, are you calling when you're doing the appraisal, are you calling each agent and asking them what the concessions are and what the commissions are? And then
So my understanding, what I'm telling my staff is I don't care about the commissions. That doesn't matter to me. There will be some appraisers who want to know what the commissions are. I'm figuring six. We didn't do it when there were FSBOs.
Right.
I didn't care if somebody sold it for sale by owner. It was baked into the cake or not. What I'm going to see is we'll know whether or not properties were inflated by looking at the listing histories to see if those and then taking the concessions into account. Okay, but you're going to get calls. If for anybody who sells a property as listing agent, you're going to get calls every time that comp is used.
When you say listing history, you're just talking 6 months, a year, not very far back. 'Cause
No, well, what we're seeing, is when we're seeing that the home was listed at 500 and then went under contract at 515. When we see that, before the transaction.
Well, if it's still the same square foot price it should be.
It all breaks down, and we don't use price per square foot in the way you do. But again, look at your comps. If they're comps to support, it's common sense, you shouldn't have a problem. But if you don't, then the appraiser's probably going to, we're probably have a value issue.
I mean, think about it this way. The house is listed at 500, and then it goes into escrow at 515. What do we think happened? There you go. That's what I'm saying. So that's the cake. You know, it's easy for them to figure that out. That it's not really worth 515. It's that money's going somewhere else. That's what he's trying to say.
What if the home was listed low and all the other comps around it? If it was listed at 500, all the comps are at 525. So that listing agent listed that
Mhm.
low,
Yeah.
knowing
Right.
they could end up with multiple offers, or if they just
Sure.
went with one
And-
offer.
I agree.
And that's a great point, but if it's been on the market 2 days, that's one thing. Well, it might not have been listed low at 500 if it's been on the market 30 days.
Right,
Right.
right,
But again, if I've got comps at 5.25, I'm using those.
Mhm.
right.
Okay, I mean, again, I think that the biggest offshoot of this is you need to treat the appraisal as another transaction, another sale you need to make. You need to meet the appraiser at the property. If you're the listing agent, you need to give him your data. You need to give him the comps you didn't use. You need to give him the options, the upgrades. You need to give him all this information, especially since this reconsideration process is gonna get ugly. You put it in a package, and I've said this many times before, you say, hey, I know you know what you're doing, here's what I use to price the property, and walk away, leave him alone.
So that's.
Okay, but let me just finish, but raise your right hand, I swear, I will not leave the appraiser alone with the seller. There you go, see, you guys are.
It's not that hard, right? Yeah, come on, you know?
That's an easy group.
Yeah.
Go ahead, finish your
So-
question, then I'll.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because I've been sending the comps that I use. So.
Good.
On the listing side, I'm sending them the comps I use to list that property, and then I always make an upgrades list for my
Good.
Yeah.
listings.
Perfect.
I leave it at the property, but then when the appraiser calls me to schedule the appointment, I ask them for their email and say, hey, I'll send you these upgrades list and this comps
Perfect.
list.
Yeah, you don't have to be there with them, other than to
Right.
protect them from the seller.
So after October, can we still do that?
What's that?
After October, can we still do that?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
none of that changed. That actually was put in stone with Fannie Mae last year, basically said that realtor information is a valuable resource for appraisers. Don't let any appraiser tell you they can't take that information. They should have stayed in the basement. I didn't say that. I'm not stereotyping.
There we go.
I'm a basement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When it's a jumbo loan and lender's asking for a second appraisal, or is that, does the same person go, do you go back, or is it?
No, it's two separate.
Okay.
Well, it can come to the same appraisal management company,
Okay.
but it will go to two separate appraisers.
So it's never the same guy?
No, never the same guy.
Okay.
And the reason they do, jumbo loan, a lot of them, especially if it's a higher LTV, will require two
And
appraisals.
who pays for that second one?
You know what?
'Cause I-
Borrow
The buyer,
for me.
yeah.
Yeah. John, he's paying for that.
Yeah.
Hey, John, he's gonna offer a 2-for-1 jumbo appraisal study.
Carrie, don't forget, Carrie.
John's gonna be doing loans for free.
Carrie, remember, Carrie, the secret word, lender credit.
Lord.
Just saying, just lender.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Anything else while I'm here?
We're good, gang? You sure?
Good.
Last chance. We might not see him for 6 months, you know? No, I'm kidding. Brent Jones, everybody. There you go. That's it. But I recommend everyone go to the Value Test website, set up. It's free. I think it would be a great tool for you to have in addition to your RPR or CMA when you want a listing appointment. Okay? It'll really enhance your listing appointment. Where's my little clicker here? While we're having a pause for the cause here, Linda, how many names are on the list? Pick it. How many? 29. Brent, pick a number between 1 and 29. 1 and 29.
Say it out loud?
Pretty much.
Are you not doing the Kreskin thing?
No. Those days are over.
26.
26. Who's number 26? They came late to the meet. Not late, but later. The winner is, Linda. Amelia Sorensen. She wins again. Yay! So we have rock title stuff here. We got pens. We got mouse pads. We have a nice T-shirt. And this is a really cool notebook. Compliments of Heather and rock title. So very, very nice. There you go. Okay. One more housekeeping thing before I forget. We have 1 or 2 special guests here today. Don't forget Kathleen Lamarche, everybody. In the back, escrow officer. Pick her brain while you can. And anyone know who that little girl over there next to Suzanne is? Have we seen her before?
Vienna.
That's it. That's our new OA, V&E. That's it. She doesn't start for 2 weeks. It's Vianney Ordonez. So Vianney. See, I'm messing it up already. So non-E or V or all of the above, but we're so happy you took us up on the offer. We really are. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. All right, John Morgan, you're biting at the bit. I could tell here. Where's my little clicker? Here it is. Okay. I think bada bing, bada boom.
Gotta get back on the PowerPoint.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, right? Yeah. Little things like that, huh? You think I'd have an assistant that would do this for me, you know? I mean, you would think here, you know?
Couple things on appraisals. I head off quite a few of these challenges. I've seen a lot of stuff on real estate side. I don't like it.
Shit.
Number one, don't challenge the appraiser's judgment. Okay? Don't go at their judgment. You'll never beat it, and you're gonna piss them off, right? Okay?
Don't use the I word, idiot.
Right.
Okay.
The only things you can really challenge is something that was left out, a miscalculation in square footage. Before you could challenge like, hey, you didn't use concessions on this, property like you did on this one, but now you can't because you're not gonna be able to see it. They're gonna have to call for it. So, other thing, the appraiser sets the ground rules, right? When he says what comps he used, he creates that radius. You can't go outside, but you can go inside. And when you do go inside, if it just closed, okay, if the cutoff is the actual inspection date, if the appraiser goes to the property, if the home next door closes the day after, he's not using it, and you can't challenge it, okay? I've had some appraisers say, if they signed the documents, I can squeeze it in, but that's.
But again, it's a very important point. Manage the transaction. If you have a pending that is, is going to close, hold the appraiser off if you know it's going to help you.
Right.
I mean, don't expect, I've seen it so many times. I mean, look, rerun your CMA or rerun value test when you go under contract. Just see what's now there, because that sale is now gonna be the nugget for us. It's gonna just have happened, it's gonna be in the subdivision, and if it was pending at 500, now it's at 460, closes at 465, Houston, you got a problem.
I think that's the biggest issue is agents think that they can include this one that just closed, even though they haven't got the appraisal yet. Appraisal report takes a few days to get after the inspection, and homes can close, but agents, you guys need to know that if that thing closed after the actual inspection date, it's not gonna happen. And if they have 3 solid comps in the same block, that's it. They're using it, and you're not gonna get anything moved, all right? So, just know your things, and like I said, I'll head off a lot of those and explain why in those things, because nobody likes, you said, nobody likes challenges on the appraisal reports and stuff. It just creates delays, it creates attitudes, it just makes the transaction tough, so.
So in this climate we're in, are we still under the 200 to 300 square foot?
Oh my God.
comfort zone for
Got a gun?
parking
You got a gun?
above and below?
So that's a whole other class.
Yeah, that's
That's so case by case.
that's the CMA class. That's the CMA class.
Asking me, what's roughly the rate these days? So.
That's the CMA class at LVR that you all should have taken several times.
And I can actually answer in a couple minutes if you read.
I would love that.
So I look at a house, I've got a 2,500 square foot house, 2-story, all right, in a regular neighborhood. I'm gonna take, first off, I'm gonna look at everything in the subdivision, okay, because I wanna know everything that's gone on. You need to know everything that's gone on because that seller will know the most expensive house in the neighborhood that has nothing else to do with theirs.
Right.
Right?
If
So
they understand
that's why you would
it,
know
yeah.
that. So then I'm gonna have that 2,500, my first brush at it, I'll go anywhere, I'll use 20%. So I'll go from 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. I'll go out a mile, not because there's any rule. I can go 5 miles. My job is to find 3 comps. So if I go the mile, I'm gonna do that, just that parameter of square footage. I'm gonna look at my data set, and the first thing I'm gonna do, which is the most important, is I'm gonna go hit the proximity button. And then I'm gonna go down, look every sale that is the closest, and I'm gonna try and
Keep on our
match them
toes.
all up for the most recent, the one that's closest in square footage, and the one that is most similar to the subject. If I've got pools or larger lot sizes or some guest houses, then I'll start applying those filters after I've looked at that broader data set.
And
So,
last question, how about, age of home? How does that affect?
so I'll add age. I'm gonna try and find the same type of style of home. I don't have any hard and fast rules. It all depends on what I have. I want the same year built. I want that comp in the subdivision that just closed yesterday. But if I don't have that, then I'm gonna go, but I'll use that comp as my anchor, and then I'll choose other comps
Like the link
that all
to the
help
YouTube
that
channel.
make sense.
Will you ever use a two-story or one-story?
I will if I have to, but I'll go out further to find, because a one-story always sell at a premium here, I mean, based on the demographic of people coming into town. I hate to intermix, but I will, and then I can actually make an adjustment. The premiums are actually, you can see it in the data. So, but always plan, certainly don't use a one for a two-story.
But you go 5 miles out on a single story before you pull the house next
I-
door.
Here's the other rule, I'm not gonna go from a pocket neighborhood to Summerlin. I'm not-
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna
Good job.
make sure that I'm in the same neighborhoods with the same set of services. And for the 5 miles, if I have to go 5 miles here, it's because it's on acreage. It's because it's more rural property, and that makes more sense, because people aren't out there going, oh, I wanna live, I wanna live on Craig Road. I mean, they're going, oh, I don't care, if they want acreage, they'll look around. Yeah.
What's the trend? Do appraisers now still appraise high, or is it going, are banks getting more careful? Like, the last year I had the impression appraisers appraised quite high and not as
My
well.
crystal ball's very murky.
There you go, yeah. Hey, John, tell me about this second opinion thing here. Let's talk about that second opinion.
All right,
There we go.
second opinion.
Yeah.
You're going to want to get a second opinion for your buyers, okay? Even the ones that aren't in your car looking at houses. I'm talking about the ones that got knocked out of the market because the rates went up and their rate's too high and they can't afford enough and they don't want to buy that $250,000 home, okay? They're renting something much nicer and they don't want to do it. So the reason you want to do the second opinion is because here's a look at yesterday's rates, okay? Not today, this is yesterday. Had to get that to Suzanne. But here's your rates, Realty One Group. This,
Can't see that far.
It's in the handout, it's in the handout. It's in the handout, all right, it's in the handout,
So-
all right.
this I posted in
Take a
just
picture.
Realty One Group Facebook pages because you guys get special comps with Epic. Because CMG and Realty One Group have a joint venture and it's called Epic. So we're allowed to create a separate comp for that and it's lower and we price in an extra point. So we could either give them the 6.5 rate or we can give them a point back towards closing costs, all right? And I broke this down, I've been talking about it for a while, I broke it down here because we're gonna get into this situation when there's not enough seller concessions to get you paid. But your buyer really wants to pay you, all right? So let's start at 6.125 on a convention, all right? The payment is $1,154. If that's the rate they get, they didn't have to pay any points, they didn't get any money back. But if they want a point, if they want, 1 point is 1% of the loan amount. Okay, if they need some closing costs, we can change that to 6.5, all right? Payment only changes about, $50 a month, but they're getting $5,000. We're going to refi them in 6 months for free with our rate rebound. They got 5 years of free refis. Every 6 months, if it drops 0.5%, we can refi them and we cover the lender costs plus $1,000 towards third party, all right? So now it's like, hey, well, what if we got 2 points? Because I need an extra 2 points to finish paying off the agent compensation. Well, now we're back up to 7.125. But our payment is only $126 more. What's $126 times 6 months? That's what? 800 bucks. 800 bucks to get you 10 grand. Who's taking that deal? All day, right? We're manufacturing money. Now I sound like the freaking Fed.
Good job, yes, yeah.
We're manufacturing money.
It's John Powell over there,
So this is what we want to do, all right? Even if I don't need the money, I'm taking the money. It makes so much sense to just take the money. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you give this money.
Huh?
Oh, you
It
give-
goes towards seller concessions,
Oh.
or it goes towards concessions, so
Concession.
closing costs. Your
But not the
compensation is a
real
closing
money for
cost.
the buyer, huh?
Yeah, no, it can't go towards down payment.
It's not a,
It has to go on this side.
it's not a brown paper bag at the Stardust Casino, you know, it's,
Compensation,
no.
there is plenty of stuff to pay for now in the concession side. All right, so and then I put 2.5 points just in case we had to go that far. 7.5, we're looking at $180 a month more. But seriously, $12,500 for, you know, $1,000.
John, let me ask you a question. Let's say that's more than they need. And maybe this is a Kathleen question. Can I tell my buyer, Ann, with this extra money, you could pay off 2 years of your HOA dues?
Yep.
Right? We're good with that? Sort of, maybe? Right? You pay off taxes, you know, see where this money can go? So that's why it can't go in their pocket. We'd love it to, but they could prepay all this stuff.
But
You know?
let's say, what if we want to throw a 1-0 buy down or 2-1 buy down in there because we have more concessions? Or let's say the seller was giving you 3 or more and we got another $12,500. Let's go back to the seller and say, hey, in lieu of the concession, I want you to lower the price by $5,000. There you go. Okay, we'll use it all, we'll figure it out. But this, keep this in the back of your mind. This is how you're kind of your ace in the hole in case, and we'll have this conversation with the buyer. Right, we're gonna have this because you're gonna be sending the compensation agreement, so we'll see it, and we're gonna have that because it's cash to close, right? We have to make sure they have enough to close. And when we look, it's like, hey, where's the extra money coming from? Like, well, I'm probably gonna have to pull it out of 401k. It's like, penalty for that is this. I mean, not a penalty, but the fee. You can pull money out of your 401k, but you're gonna have to pay for it. Would you rather do that or, you know, pay an extra $600 over the next 6 months? Okay, so those are the conversations, but,
So you're saying that could go towards the agent fee?
oh yeah, it's a closing cost.
Just
Yeah.
checking.
All right.
And guys, think of it this way, and I've seen this happen with a lot of you, not in this room, of course. You'd have a buyer, and it would open up escrow, me and Wendy are thrilled for you, and the lender is not local. And I asked the agent, so tell me about the lender. Well, it's a good lender. Okay, have you spoken to him? Have you see if stuff like this exists? No. You see my point? The point is, the lender is going to be so critical to this thing working. It really, really is. And if John could, you know, work the numbers like this, it's to your buyer's advantage. Not that every buyer should go to Epic Lending, of course not. But I think if you don't explain this to them and at least give them a chance to get them on the phone to compare,
90% of the
you
lending
know.
industry isn't having this
Right,
conversation.
exactly.
They're stuck.
They're not.
They want to
Yeah.
have, oh my gosh, I can offer you 6.125 on the greatest. They want to have that conversation. I want to get you wealthy. I want to put money in your pocket and have you make more money as a buyer or borrower. I want you to be in a better situation 6 months, a year from now than just this 6.125 rate.
And this is only for primary residents, not for investors.
Yeah, because the products change and it gets a little harder to do, your rates change, everything. This is the best use is on a primary. If you're an investor, you probably aren't even thinking about the extra compensation to your agent because you have a relationship and you know you're paying it anyway. So they're usually paying their closing costs.
How difficult it is to get I-10 people financed?
No, it's just another social security number. The rates are
Are
higher.
they qualified if they're doing the primary homes with that similar?
What was their question?
How difficult is it to get the I-10 qualified? So
Are they able to take advantage of that as well?
we can, any product, we can move the rates up and down and give them a credit, give it back, okay? It just depends on how high that rate is and where they're comfortable with the payment. So like I said, if I'm comfortable with the payment, I'll pay an extra $250 a month for 6 months to get 10 grand. Don't care, that's no brainer for me.
Right.
So it's
So-
kinda like
How's-
raising the house price, but,
How is the payment only like $1,000 for a 500K home? Shouldn't it be like 6 grand?
Yes, so I put that in afterwards. This is based on, this principal and interest.
Based off of.
20% down, yeah. So, I'll fix fix that. But this is, it's the gist, right? It gives you the gist. Good catch. I'm gonna have to go back.
Good try, John. Good try, big fella. Good try.
Can I get that one?
You get a load.
I'll refine today.
You get a load. So, yeah, but this is based on.
I thought we were just road people, that's why we get this great deal.
Right?
Yeah.
Only for agents, actually. This
Yeah.
is the agent deal.
Yeah. I think you should change the screen now, John. There you go. Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.
No, but seriously, it
Yeah.
just kind of shows you the idea. All right?
Yeah.
Here's a reference guide that I'll be going over this later. But it's in the 101 class.
In the mortgage class.
If you need flyers like this, cheat sheets on concessions, co-branded, it's good to have. All right, good to have with you for your presentations and stuff like that. It doesn't take me much time to do this, so meet with me, ask me for them, I'll give them to you. So, all right, it's Maria's turn.
You good?
Yep.
John Morgan, everybody. All right, gang, let's see here. Where is she? You know her, you love her. There's Maria. You back there? Come on down. Come on down, everybody. Maria Oakes, everybody. TC extraordinaire. Woo-hoo-hoo. Woo-hoo-hoo. You want to go that one first? Or that one? Or maybe, what do you think?
Yeah, BBRA.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we need to make sure that we have a new BBRA. Yay! Another one.
Another new one on top of the new one.
So make sure the revision at the bottom says 824, like it says on the Since yesterday?
This stuff scares me.
That a boy, you better run, yes. Brent, everybody. Brent Jones, everybody. There he goes.
Well, the board said that thing saying this is final.
Was it 824? Yeah.
Whatever's in there today is the one you use, okay? That's it. Let's move on. That's the one we're using, okay?
And the 724 ones are being rejected.
Right. If you're using one that does not have exclusive or non-exclusive, you're using the wrong one. And that was available a week ago.
Do I have to get the ones that I already have signed again?
If they've been signed by the broker, no.
Okay.
Right.
Mine are signed by the broker.
Then you're good. You're home free. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go through forms first, and then we're gonna do a Q&A. Okay, the BBRA, the rental, clicker.
Oh. Do we have, Suze, do we put,
Do we have paperwork for this?
you always have paperwork. There's more paperwork up front than you have. You got to grab it when you get in. Come on.
So the next form that's brand new, can everybody hear me?
Just can't see it.
Okay, the next form that is brand new as of today is going to be your rental one. This is, you guys do rentals, this is what you're gonna use from now on. So you're not gonna use the PRA anymore. You're gonna use the rental showing and compensation agreement form, which is this one that's on there now. Very easy to fill out, the renter's name, the broker. Who's the broker?
Marco Otero.
Thank you. Okay, section 1, you're just gonna mark it, whether you're, looking at condos, single-family, townhomes, whatever. Duration of the agreement, you're gonna put that means how long is this agreement gonna last? Okay, so it's not just tomorrow. Compensation on section 5, what the renter agrees to pay, either whatever, $300, $500, whatever you guys are gonna collect from the tenant. The rest of it is just legalese, and then on the second page is signatures. And then this is also gonna come to me, or in your, SkySlope file if you've already identified a property, so that I can get that signed, okay? Okay, thank goodness for Kathleen being here, because I was gonna talk about commission instructions, but she's gonna back me up on all of this good stuff.
Are we okay with this? Any questions on this?
Oh,
Yeah.
When I was at the CE class, they said that rentals rentals are technically not your clients, they're referrals, and therefore you receive the referral fee. That's why property managers are still able to put on their website, we're giving 300, we're giving 200, whatever. And that's why you don't have to get duties of signed, because it's not technically a client of yours.
Correct. Correct.
And that's why
Yeah.
that's why your CE,
Right.
instructor always says, check with your broker. So you
Right.
need to check with the broker, and you need to have this is now a mandatory form for all rentals.
If we use the other BBRA for the one that we're using now, that was just up on the screen, if we use this one, you need the duties owed. So to avoid that, which is better for everybody, we got this one. So internally, if you hear me and Wendy say, did you get the rental BBRA signed? This is what we mean. I'm not going to say rental showing and compensation agreement. You know, that's too many words for me. I'm going to call it the renter's BBRA. So just internally, just so you know. Steph?
That's only between me, the renter, realty one. So the landlord or the seller's agent, whatever, they don't get that.
What do you think? Should you send it to the other? Why not?
Because then they don't want us paying the commission for referral fee. Because they know the
So do you know what you're getting from the landlord?
No. Are they allowed to tell us? Can we?
I don't know.
Would they tell us?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course you can call them. Yeah.
So we call them and we show rental and said, by the way, do we get paid?
Absolutely.
Right. And they're paying $100, and you have $400 on here.
So then they pay and then 300 our client.
Who does? The tenant, if you want to collect it, correct.
So how do you collect that?
You just ask them.
Get it from the tenant and write out a
Cash
check.
or?
No.
Check or money order made out to Realty One Group.
Okay.
Yep.
So we explain our client, okay, probably the landlord is paying a referral fee, but in case if not, this is the amount I charge, and then.
Just like the regular BBRA for a purchase.
I can call the listing agent from the rental and say how much. Of
course.
And they will tell,
Well, we don't know if they're going to tell you. They might not.
but they might not.
I don't know.
Okay.
But you
Yeah.
know, there is this potential, they can tell you one thing and do another when you, when, you know.
Sure.
But they're
So-
renters, the property managers don't follow the same. Yeah.
So then if we take a listing for a client for their rental, and we're representing the owner, then if he has someone that wants to look at the property, then we have to have this signed if we're showing it to whoever.
If he's sending him to you and you're going to show it,
Right,
you have to have the BBRA.
and or whoever shows it has to have one of these.
Well, that's up to the other brokerage, the other agent, sure. They should, they're supposed to. Yeah.
If the landlord makes a decision that he wants to pay the total amount, and I'm paying $500 out, do I have to have this signed, or I just get a
You have to
referral
have it.
agreement?
Yeah, you have to have it signed. It's just like the BBRA, regardless of who's paying
So
what,
change it to
where.
a compensation to be paid by the landlord.
No.
My
it's
tenant
not
doesn't wanna pay it.
form. Because when you get this signed, you have no clue what the landlord's gonna pay you.
Assuming you've called over and they haven't responded.
I missed a lot of leases.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because you're double ending it. That's a different.
Not always.
You know, situation.
Wait, what was
I
that you
don't
just
always
said?
double ended.
Oh,
So
go.
how do I pay that other person and be within the realms of this?
Give me an example. I'm the buyer's agent.
You're the buyer's agent.
Right.
I'm paying a $500 commission. or
Right. Okay.
rental fee to you.
Right.
I'm collecting $3,000, I'm giving you $5.
Okay.
How do I comply with this?
Your tenant writes a check to Realty One Group for $500.
What, the tenant doesn't wanna pay my.
I mean, you're the landlord.
Yeah, but he's double ending it, so does he need to put
He's making
on this
another
BBRA, the rental BBRA, what the landlord's willing to pay?
Whatever's on the if you're, stay with me, if you're on the buying side, if you represent the tenant, whatever's on this form, regardless of renter or purchase, that's all you're going to get. So if you think you're going to get 3,000 total, that's cool, then that number has to go up here, or 2,505, however you're going to do it. So you can't collect more than what's on this form.
No, he's talking on the listing side, he wants.
I have the listing.
He's got the listing.
I'll get compensated $3,000.
He's paying
That's
by.
I agree to
Right.
pay a referral
To make.
to.
Right.
this
So
young
you
lady
don't
here,
need that form, I do if I've got.
Right.
You don't need that as the listing.
And then you're gonna put me as paying you?
No, then I'm gonna put.
We send a referral agreement over and you pay.
So
She's already put the buyer, it's
like
I don't want, the
CA.
buyer doesn't wanna pay, I mean.
Yeah, but it's the same
tenant-
thing as a regular
don't hurt
purchase.
the buyer, you don't care.
If the buyer doesn't pay.
Fred, you're representing the seller, right?
Does, then we just don't
I
use it.
represent the
I
landlord.
mean, we-
Right, you're representing the seller, right. So what the buyer, stay with me, gang, stay with me. Hello. What the buyer does, Fred, is you could care less.
There's no buyer, landlord.
The tenant, you could care less.
So the tenant, I agreed to pay the tenant's representative $500.
Correct.
Do I do it on a referral agreement?
Yep.
Do I fill this form out for it?
You don't represent the buyer. You don't fill this out. Unless you're representing the buyer, then you need this.
He's gonna put,
Well, you didn't say that. He didn't say that. He's not double-ending it. No, he's not double-ending it. You could care less.
yeah, but if I agree to pay the other agent, how do I compensate him?
That's all, that should be in the.
In your-
that's
in
what
your-
Like we've done for 30 years.
They're sending over the
Yeah.
referral.
Ricky at Remax is going to send you the referral agreement,
There, and that's what you're paying.
like we do now, right? You get a referral agreement from Remax,
I'm not gonna utilize this, I'm gonna utilize a referral agreement.
like we always have.
Okay.
Yeah, that hasn't changed.
Yeah, this is like a BBRA for
The
renters.
rental referral agreement.
Right, this is just for renters,
I'm not gonna utilize this for another one.
unless you represent the renter.
Unless I come in, then I don't have to, because I'm getting it wrong.
I should say, it says TBR.
Yes, and to Blanca's question, and we said this many times, we've put it on video and emailed it out. Once you get this signed, or the other BBRA, you got to send it to me and put it in SkySlope immediately, so we sign it. Because it has to be in SkySlope within 72 hours, just like any other broker-signed, client-signed, agent-signed document. That's going to be really important as time goes on, because then when we get audited and it's not in there, you're going to get fined $1,000.
If you don't have a property yet, how do you do that?
We said it 14 times. SkySlope is going to have a tab that's coming out any day now to upload this and the BBRA. It's not like a transaction where you enter in the address. There's going to be a button you put in probably the person's name and put tenant or buyer, something like that, I think. Huh? Who? What? You lost me.
So,
Get $2,000 and he doesn't want to pay the money back to the renter, or to the renter's agent.
Then you collect it from your buyer, from your tenant.
So the buyer could be stuck with that before money then. Okay.
Again, you sat down with your buyer and said, I charge $500 for what I'm going to do for you to help you find a property. Could take me a day, could take me 6 months, but I get $500.
Yes.
And hopefully, Fred at the other side is going to pay your fee. Now, he may not. He may only pay me $200, Ray, and if that's the case, you have to make up the difference. Are you okay with that? Sign here.
If I am double-ending it, I don't have to do anything.
You need a BBRA for your tenant.
Because I'm getting paid.
You need a BBA for your
I
tenant.
need this just for $500 for my.
For your tenant, correct.
What if the tenant?
Not your landlord, not your landlord. It's two separate transactions.
But that form is not for the landlord, that form is only signed, if you look at the back of it, it's only signed by the renter, whoever your tenant
But
is.
if the renter is not wanting to pay you, the landlord is, how do you get paid? How do you fill this out?
You're going to put a number on here, Fred, when you meet me, the tenant. You're going to put a number on number 3. I'm sorry, number 5.
Maria, I have a question.
Hold it, Britt, hold it. No, we're going crazy. If I call you up off your Zillow property in Turnberry, you're going to meet me there, and you're going to whip out this form, and you're going to tell me that I got to pay you $500 unless the landlord is paying it. And I sign it. You show me you show me the property.
I'm gonna put it that it's gonna be paid by the landlord.
No, it's paid by the tenant. This is a buyer-broker agreement between the buyer and the brokerage. Nothing to do with the landlord, nothing to do with the seller. Then you work for free. Then you don't work with the client.
No,
Yeah.
I'll collect it all up front. Keep it.
Well, you can't. We don't do retainers. You gotta,
No,
again,
at the close of escrow, it's in.
that's fine.
I can do it then. The other thing then is, it's referral, I use a referral lease agreement form. I
The
don't have to utilize
rental
it.
referral.
I do not have to utilize this.
Not a referral agreement,
Okay, rental
a
referral,
rental referral.
but I don't have to utilize this.
You do if you represent the
You're
tenant.
the tenant.
If the
Yes.
landlord is paying, then this is zero, you just put zero.
You can't put 0 there,
You can't put 0 there.
because then you're going to get paid 0. You got to put on this form. Guys, this isn't that hard. I thought we've covered this a million fucking times. This shouldn't be that hard, okay? Again, I know it's a different form. Stay with me, Brent. Stay with me, guys. Stay with me. Hello. Shh. It's the same form as the BBRA that we were talking about for 2 months. It's just for rentals, okay? And it should be easier because this number on number 5, shush. The number, sorry, but shush. On number 5 is going to be a smaller amount, $200, $300, $400. And Ann, that's my fee. It usually comes from the landlord, but if they don't pay it, or if they pay a portion of it, you're going to pay the difference. Are you good with that? What's the tenant going to say? Of course. They want to go see the house, and that's it. I don't understand. What am I missing? I don't know what I'm missing, you know?
This is your tenant broker.
This is, that's what we should put up there, but corporate didn't want us to use the word BBRA for the rental form. But I'm calling it the rental BBRA, so there's no confusion.
That is what makes
It's not confusing. Stay with it. This is the BBRA for tenants.
Okay, so real quick.
Good.
So, when you're putting your compensation on this agreement, guys, this is what you're asking for. And if your buyer, you don't wanna charge your buyer, that's fine. Say, I'm charging 300, 400, 500, whatever. You're gonna put there, I'm gonna ask the landlord to pay it. If they don't pay it, then you don't wanna pay it, I'm not getting paid, just so you know. But if you put 0 there, it's not saying, well, Mr. Tenant, you're not paying anything. I'm just gonna go after the seller. You cannot get any more than what you put here. So if you put 0, it doesn't matter if the landlord is giving you 500, you're gonna get 0. You have to put in there what you want.
Okay.
And then if they say, you put 500 and the landlord says I'm paying you 300, you have the right to just take that 300 or go to your buyer or your tenant and say, can you compensate me the other 200 to make it 500?
Okay.
You can lower it, you cannot raise it. So if you put 0, you aren't getting anything from either side.
And that's what we've said 111 times, or 1,011 times for the last 3 months, okay? Okay, Britt.
Okay, if you're representing the landlord, you have a listing agreement, they're paying you $1,200.
Is this a rental or a purchase?
Rental listing.
Rental, okay?
And then you show the property to an unrepresented tenant, and they want it, so you fill out the lease and they go under, so you just get the full $1,200.
No. Who represents the tenant?
They're unrepresented.
But who showed them the property?
You did.
I did as a courtesy.
There is no courtesy. There is no such thing as a courtesy. That's a violation. You're going to get fined $1,000 because you opened the door without a rental BBRA signed.
Right, no, they said in the CE class.
I don't care about the C class. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
You're listing as you're doing it.
Yes, yes, but once they want to lease it, you need the BBRA.
Yeah.
Right, you could show it, your listing, for free.
Okay, so once they want to lease it, then you whip out the.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yes. Crystal clear, everybody? All right, Carrie, last one. Maybe
It's
not.
on transaction desk already.
I think it is.
Is the form on transaction desk?
It is not. and that's
Oh,
what
not
I
yet?
was gonna say.
Okay.
It is not as of this morning. They already sent it to transaction desk to put it in there. So my suggestion would be to make copies of it
Mhm.
and keep it for right now until it does get in there.
Correct.
It should be in the Sky Slope, hopefully by Monday at the latest,
Correct.
okay? Okay, so now, jeez, okay.
Sheesh. We got more? But wait, there's more from,
Oh, there's more.
Oh, great.
Okay,
Excuse me,
so.
I'm sorry.
the big-
One more.
yeah.
Has RPA been updated in Sky?
Yes.
Yes, everything's updated in transaction desk. Okay, so now the big one, new changes to your process. We have to have BBRAs on everything, right? We're talking escrows now, okay, no rentals, we're talking escrows. So you need a BBRA. In the BBRA, you put in there 3%. You negotiate the deal, the seller says, I'll pay you 2.5%. Okay? When you open escrow, you need to contact that escrow agent and let them know immediately if you're collecting that 0.5%.
And the way to do that simply, stay with me, shh. So there's no new forms. You'll just cross out the 2.5, 3, make it 2.5, put your initials, your tenant, your client's initials, and date it. Unless you want to fill out another form. No.
Correct it and lower it.
Exactly. You can correct it down, you can't correct it up.
But here's the thing, Tim, so they shouldn't fill out another form because then the original.
There is no forms, that's correct. That's correct.
Cross it out.
Well, not a form, a change order. There could have been a change order. Some companies are making you fill out a change order.
Are we gonna have a change
No,
order?
no, unless you want one. No, it's more paperwork. Just cross it off, 2.5 LBJ or LJB, your buyer signs it, date it, and send it to Kathleen. Does that sound right, Kath?
So when
Kind
you
of?
open escrow, your escrow email is gonna have the purchase agreement, any counter offers, your BBRA, okay? Your BBRA, and then you're gonna put in the comments whether you're gonna collect that 0.5 or not. And then you're gonna email it to your escrow officer. They have to know ahead of time, come on up. They have to know ahead of time if they're collecting that 0.5, because the lender also needs to know. You can no longer, okay, please listen to this, you can no longer send me a commission instructions in an email on the 11th day, ready to close tomorrow, and say, my commission instructions aren't signed by Tim, I need them done. Because if you're collecting that 0.5, you're not gonna get it the day before you close escrow. Because the lender then needs to, what?
No, I have to, it's just a big change. First of all, escrow needs written instructions signed. So if your buyer's gonna pay the 0.5 of that 3%, and we don't know it until we get loan documents in, ready, everybody's signing, then we're gonna have to put a halt to everything. We have to add it, we need instructions.
But Kathleen, let me interrupt you. If I send you the RPA counteroffer addendums, BBRA, and it says 3, I crossed it out 2.5, everyone initials it, you're good. You're good. Okay.
If your contract, page 2, says 2.5, seller will pay. However, you have your BBRA saying 3. Escrow doesn't get it. We don't charge the 0.5 to the buyer.
Right.
Then we get loan docs, we've disclosed to the lender, everybody's happy, CD goes out. Then all of a sudden you're, oh, where's my 0.5? When you get the settlement statement to review. Well, now we gotta put on the brakes, get your BBRA, put it on the settlement statement, send it to the lender. Lender then has to probably go back to underwriting to have it approved, because now they're paying X amount of dollars more. Is there enough in their account? Was it, you know, so it could delay your closing.
And then you're writing an addendum to extend the close of escrow.
It's the same as this happened to me in my career.
Shoot the Attorney General.
And I know it's happened to some of you in the room. You're closing on Friday, you get the escrow instructions Thursday or Wednesday, and your transaction fee is not on there. And you're bitching to Kathleen. Well, she's not clairvoyant. You got to tell her there's a transaction fee. And a lot of times you leave that out, then it closes, and you want us to try to get that money for you. It's gone. Same thing with this, okay? So that first email, hey Kathleen, I got a brand new deal. Let me tell you the parameters is really, really important that you send not to any escrow officer, whether it's another company or Rock Title. Hopefully it's Rock Title, of course, okay? And then you can see, again, not that I'm pushing Epic or Rock. You can use whatever you want, but hopefully you're understanding that as this goes along, the communication with your lender and your escrow officer is so important. How many times do you guys come up and, hey Tim, I'm closing tomorrow, and Mary from Mary's Title hasn't sent me the HUD yet. And I gotta get on the phone and call Mary at Mary's Title. That's not gonna happen with Kathleen. It's the same company. So just keep that in mind as you're going forward, okay?
Probably gonna get different requests from different
Yes.
title companies right now, until we get it ironed out, as, you know, each real estate company is. We're trying to work on a form, don't know if it's gonna come out or not, that maybe in lieu of this commission instruction, that has it broken down for buyer, seller, brokers to sign. But that's in the works for that.
Okay, so keep up to date on it, because it'll be changing.
All right, anything else you didn't tell me you were gonna talk about?
So I have some questions.
I know you do. I know you do.
I wrote them down this
Great,
time so I don't
fantastic.
forget.
Okay.
I'll get my glasses
Okay.
on here. Okay, when should I get the BBRA signed? Before I show the properties, or after we send the contract to the seller?
Bam. Nah. You heard the choir.
Okay.
Okay.
Four, very good. Can I change the commission amount on a BBRA after the buyer executes it?
As long as it goes down.
That's what we're told.
As long as it's down.
The answer is yes. But like Janet said, it's got to go down. You can't have 2.5 on your BBRA. You call Ricky at Remax, he's paying 3, and you cross it off and 2.5 make it 3. Regrettably, you can't do that. I want you to. I wish you could, but you can't. Crystal clear. Okay.
I'm afraid to ask.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Because this is gonna open.
This is gonna be a great one, right?
Okay, so what if I want to charge my sister nothing
Mm-hmm.
for her paying my BBRA? What do I put on the BBRA? 0?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ray's my brother. I'm not charging him anything. He goes to see Ann's house. What am I putting on the RPA?
3%.
Right? 3.
Because it's coming, if it comes from the seller.
Well, we don't know what the buyers, we don't know. I don't know if you're paying 3, because you didn't call me back. See how you are? You didn't call me back. Okay? So I put 3. Okay? Then it comes in and it closes. How much money, what commission do I get? 0. Because there's 0 on the BBRA.
Yeah.
So if it's your brother, your mother, your sister, put something there.
And then you give them the money.
There you go. And then I give it to Ray because he's my brother. Yeah, right. But again, whatever's on the BBRA is what you're going to get. Okay? It doesn't matter who you're representing. That's really, really important. Because we just had one just the other day. And Rock Title caught it, and Quinn caught it to help. Because the seller was paying a commission. But if they weren't, our agent was good not making anything because it was her mom. Okay? But she was happy so she put 0 on the BBRA. No good. She had to put 2, 2.5, or 3, or whatever she wanted. Okay?
Did she get to change it?
Of course we did, because we caught it before it closed. But the check comes in, and the check is 0, and you're all pissed. We can't fix that. All right, you done? Are you done? No?
I started working with a buyer at the beginning of July.
Not June, July.
Or in June.
Okay,
you
June.
know. We just found a property on August 14th.
Beautiful.
Do I need a BBRA?
Well, you have one from July, right? Right?
No.
Buyer's agent, you signed one in July, right? No. And when did you show the house? In July you showed the house, or today?
Oh, I showed it sometime between July and August.
So what do you do?
Ask them to sign the BBA. Ask them to sign a new BBA.
So I'm the buyer's agent. They never signed one ever. So I've been showing them houses for a month and a half with no BBA.
No, we didn't.
Well, I don't know.
It wasn't mandatory.
Right, okay. But now it's August 14th. Right, now it's August and,
Now it's
right.
August.
So what do you think? Do we need one signed? Only if you want to get paid. Only if you want to get paid, you have to have one signed. If you don't want to get paid, then you don't need one. Okay? Correct. Last one, I think.
Okay. Oh, this is a really good
Is
one.
there-
Can you put the BBRA?
No, I can't. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, the next page.
The rental one or this one?
No, that one. Oh, we don't.
Oh, we don't have the back?
Oh, we don't have that.
Okay.
Okay, so on the back,
You guys have the BBRA. What's on the back? What is it? I got it.
page 2.
Right? What number?
Section 8.
Number 8? For best experience.
Yes. Buyer is a party to, and you have to insert a number.
Correct.
Can I put 4 or 5 on there, or?
Whatever your buyer tells you.
Okay, so.
Say that again?
I made the buyer put.
On where it says for best experience, I'm asking you, so Blanca, have you met with any other agents? Yeah, I've met with 4. Oh, that's great. Of course, inside I'm saying that sucks, but great, I'm glad you have. Have you signed any agreements with them?
They signed 3. I gotta put that number here.
There you go. That's it.
Were they paying 3 people?
Why do I?
They could. It can be, and they're gonna be working with 3
That's right.
people if you give them.
And then what if you meet him, this is a good question. So I'm the agent, Ray's the buyer, and he tells me that he has 3 signed. What should the conversation be with Ray then? No, honestly, what's the real conversation? What would you say to your buyer?
If you have the integrity, you'd say I can't help you, you're decide what you do.
No, you wouldn't say that, Mike. Honestly, just make believe it's a real life situation. And Ray gives it to me, and it says 3 signed already. What would I say to Ray next?
Let him know that's what.
What would exactly? Let's say it. Well, make believe I'm the buyer. What would you say to me?
I would tell him that they were responsible for three commissions to 3 different agents, And if they don't wanna do that.
Well,
then
no,
you
no,
can't.
but say it exactly. So Tim, I'm your buyer. So Tim,
Tim, you've signed with 3 other agents,
Mhm.
and you're gonna be signing with me, the 4th one. So you're gonna be responsible for 4 commissions. You gotta think about this. Do you really wanna do this, or not?
what do you think?
I like it.
No.
Add to it.
No, I mean, what do you think what she said?
Yeah.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I would-
And then if I'm the buyer, I'm gonna say to myself, holy shit, I signed 3 of these. So maybe the next question from Melinda might be, do you have a copy of it? Let me take a look at it. How old are they? How long is it for?
Yeah.
Maybe they signed 3 of them for 3 weekends. And they don't know, right? They don't know. Where at that point, when they say 3, your initial reaction is to walk away, like Mike said. But don't say, oh, wow, okay, that's a little crazy, Linda, that you signed 3. That's my personality, that's what I would say, trying to kid around. And I say, can I take a look at those? Or how long are they for? And see what it is, because it might not be a roadblock. It might mean nothing. Exactly. So don't just assume if there's a number there that it's a bad thing. Kind of make sense?
Absolute number, what should be there?
0.
And then number 14, is that, I guess, I thought.
Yes, so that's what I was gonna say. So if they say, yes, they have 4 active ones now, say, well, at this point, you really should choose one of those realtors to work with. And by doing that and choosing one per number 14, either party may cancel this agreement effective upon delivery of written notice. So if you've chosen just one to avoid having to pay 4 commissions, go ahead and write to them. If they're all active, you need to choose your one realtor and put in writing which one to each one that you're canceling. And they can cancel this. They can cancel it on you too, guys, just so you know, at any point. But then there is a clause in there that does say they can cancel at any time, but it does not pertain to the properties that they saw while you were with them under contract. So.
If I was the buyer's agent, I'd take it a step further. So when I talk to Ann, and Ann says she has 3 signed, and I say, Ann, how long were they for? She might not remember, which could be the truth, because it might all be in the first couple of weeks. All right, Ann, I understand. Are you comfortable working with me? Of course she is. So you want to work with me exclusively, right? Because I'm going to check off exclusive. Yeah, Tim, I'm with you. Okay. So let's get your phone out, or if you're in the office, let's hop on a computer. Let's email those 3 agents a cancellation while you're here. I want to keep you out of hot water and lawsuits. Assuming you want me to work with you exclusively, let's get those agents' information. If you don't have their email, I can get it for you on MLS. You can do that, right? Pull up Ricky at Remax, Kevin at Keller Williams, Charlie at Coldwell Banker, and send one email to all 3 that she's canceling effective immediately. And they can do that. There's no time frame to cancel. And then you're home free then. Does that make sense? Sort of, kind of?
So it cancelable at any time by either party.
Mm-hmm.
And then that means that the fact that you showed them this property isn't canceled also?
No.
Because
No. You canceled with you canceled with Ricky at Remax today, but he showed you a house 2 weeks ago.
And that's still good? regardless-
That's correct. That's still Ricky's deal.
We all cancel
That's
or
Ricky's
not?
deal.
Number 3 on here, the broker fee is due and payable upon successful closing. If buyer enters into an agreement to purchase any property shown to them by however many days following the expiration or earlier cancellation of this agreement, then buyer shall pay the buyer broker fee to the broker upon closing. The broker fee shall be in U.S. currency, blah blah blah. So basically,
That
this
is
still
still
holds
good.
up
Thank you.
for the properties that you showed.
Because
And
what?
if they cancel, you showed one today and they cancel tomorrow, it still pertains to that one, just nothing else they do from that time.
Because just be careful. This has happened where Ann saw a house a month ago. Now she's with me, signed the exclusive. She wants to go back and see that house again.
Yeah, that's.
It's still on the market. What happens then?
You're out of luck.
Who's out of luck?
The new person.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, but
Under the old agreement.
Yeah.
I went to the,
Yeah.
Mike Perry, or that fellow that charges 1%, what's his name? Steve Bear's Head. He said procuring cause is history.
Potentially. But we have lawyers, anyone could sue for anything.
I'm just,
Potentially.
What if they have an agreement?
Potentially. But again, that's why it's not here, but I don't know where the box is for, right here.
180 days, yeah.
Right. That's where you're going to put 30, 60, 90, 120, 7 years, whatever you want to put there, that anything you've shown them, you're entitled to.
Yes.
So
Okay.
if they had signed an exclusive with another agent and put 30 days on there, which I would never, I'm putting 180 at least. But say that agent put 30 on there, then they want to go see that property that the other agent showed. That's expired now, I can go show it and get paid?
Did they cancel with the other agent?
No, it expired. They put
Oh, it expired. Yeah.
The 120 days is still in effect on the other side, then that person is still gonna get paid because they were the first agent to show the property, correct? See, that's what-
This is for, this number is after you've seen the property. If I show you the property August 1st, and our agreement is good for 30 days, okay? Ann comes to me 60 days later, wants to go see the house.
Right.
You're not entitled to it, because the 30 days has expired.
Correct. So then it's Ann's commission.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's only good for that. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, 30 days, up to you what you want to put. What that length of time is after you've shown them the house, but that's up to you and your buyer, that they agree to it. All right, 2 more. We got to move on.
Is the rental showing form in Sky Slope yet?
It will be.
That's what I just said earlier.
Yes.
It's not right now.
Yes.
So make sure that you get that and you keep those and make copies of them until they do.
For
get
now.
on there.
Correct. Okay, last question. Go ahead.
Just a note, I went to a presentation of the realtors who made the forms, and they said that your BBA can only be up to 60 days, and then the other up to 90 days, or it might have been vice versa, but, so I don't know that the one.
Who set that rule?
I don't know, it was the actual realtors who.
But who told them that was the number? Exactly.
No,
Nobody. It's yours. It's like anything else. It's like the length. How long? Ray takes a listing agreement for 30 days. Patrick takes one for a year. It's up to you. All right, gang. Maria, everybody. That was quick. That was fast. Aye. All right, Heather. It's all yours.
Super fast, because I know it was a long meeting. Okay, so tomorrow, I have a class I'm doing at Rock Title. It's from 10 to 11, and it's just more about becoming a senior real estate specialist. I only have a couple spots left, so if you want that spot, just email me or text me. My information was there, but I have cards up here.
There she is.
And you can reach out to me. Couple other things. Monday, we have a class on website editor. So if you guys still have like the picture that Realty One provides and you want to change that and you want to know how to do that, that's on Monday, and that's Zoom at 1 o'clock. I just should mention Tim Sams has a class at 1 o'clock on Zoom, and that is on Title Pro 247. What is that? That's on farming. So if you want to know how to do some farming yourself, take that class, but still go through me, and I can still help figure out the best farm that suits you guys for what you're trying to market to. 9/2 is Labor Day on that Monday, so we're not having a class, but the following Monday, 9/9, is our CRM overview. So a lot of people have questions on the CRM, so definitely attend that class.
Is that Justin or you or Tim? Who's doing that?
That is gonna be Justin.
Okay.
Schaefer.
That should be similar,
So
I
know
assume.
Tim Sams has filled in a few of
That
those,
should be
but it
assumed to that class.
Yes.
That's the one
So
suite,
these are
CRM.
every Monday.
Right, that's the one.
One Rockstar is
Right.
our calendar. We have tons of
Right.
trainings. So every
Right.
Monday there's a different one.
Correct.
Lots of great stuff.
Got it.
And that's all I'll talk about today.
You sure? Oh, come on. Yeah. All right, gang. All right. I know you guys want to get out of here, but we have 2 more important things you got to cover. We have to cover. Wendy, why don't you come up and we'll talk about this together, okay? In case there's any confusion, all agents, effective August 1st, we need a BBRA, and it's got to be in Sky Slope in 72 hours. We all got that, right? Easy peasy, right? Okay. All right, here's the fun one, okay? You take a listing, and I talked to Janet, the seller, and Janet, I told her I get 3%. She's cool with that. And Janet's sold homes before. And I say, Janet, how do you feel about offering paying some of the buyers co-op? Yeah, Tim, I think I will. Okay. Well, how much do you want to pay? I'll pay the 3%. That's what I paid in the past. It worked. So I think I'll do that. Okay. What do you do with that information? Just keep it in your head? Do you put it in the listing agreement? Do you?
Put it right there.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, additional
Absolutely.
It can't be in the listing agreement.
I put in the listing agreement, 3% is gonna be based on conditions being met, like.
Okay, no, you're gonna put this in there. We're not writing up our own terms here, guys. We're not lawyers. We're not gonna try to create something. You're gonna use this or this, but we're gonna go back to this first, okay? This just says, in writing, what your seller will offer the co-op agent. Now, could that change based on the offer? Yeah. If you get a crummy offer and your seller says, no, Tim, I'm not going to pay 3%. They offered much less. I'm going to pay 2.5%, okay? So you could use that. You with me, Wen? You want to jump on there or anything, or you're good? We're good? Okay. So this is the wording. Our attorneys in corporate wrote it. Damien had a lot to do with it, helping create it, and all the managers got involved. And we don't want to see anything else in additional terms that has to do with co-op or money other than this, because we're not lawyers. You're not creating all this jargon that we're used to doing. When I was at Remax, I wrote addendums, boy, left and right, and I thought I was Ernest Hemingway, and it worked, but you can't do that anymore, okay? So this is if Janet, my seller, says, yeah, Tim, I'll pay 3%. All right, Janet, we have two choices. I'm going to put it in the listing agreement, and you'll have this with you. You'll have the sheet of paper, maybe bring it with you on the listing appointment. Or, Janet, we could use this terminology. Now so the first one says, the parties agree to amend Section 5 to reflect that the seller wishes and approves, in addition to the compensation paid by the seller to listing broker, that listing broker will publicly communicate and advertise that seller will compensate buyer's agent in the amount of, let's say, 3 bananas. So you can put that on your flyer, or you can put it on a billboard, you can put it off a plane riding over Las Vegas, if you want, okay? But it's pretty specific, okay? My thought is this. Starts out the same. The parties agree to amend Section 5 to reflect the seller's wishes and approves listing broker to discuss verbally and in writing any inquiring buyer broker that the seller is willing to negotiate compensation to any buyer broker subsequent to receiving an offer to the purchase from a buyer. So you can put a number. You can't use both. When or don't use either one. Okay? You might say, Tim, you know what? My seller didn't quite get it, but he told me a number, and we'll worry about it as the offers come in. You could do that too, if you wanted to.
What is this? Is this a?
What don't you understand?
In addition to the BBRA?
Forget about the BBRA. No. This is the listing agreement and additional terms. Okay?
We were always told we cannot advertise anymore.
We're always told you didn't need a BBRA too. Now we have to use a BBRA. The rules have changed, gang. Okay? You can put it in the listing agreement.
I think where they're confused is advertising, guys. The advertising, they don't, but we cannot, everybody.
Stay with me. Shh.
We cannot disclose in the MLS how much commission we're giving.
Right.
And we cannot put it in the pictures. But if you want to send out a flyer, mass flyer to all the agents, you can do that because you are personally sending it to them. They're not going to a source to find it. And then if you're going to put it on your website, it has to be like 2 clicks away or something like that. But just don't put it in your pictures. You can't put it in the MLS. This, I like, out of these two, I like this one because like we talked about, we don't know if my seller says, yeah, I'm going to give 3 bananas, and then the offer's $100,000 below. They're like, well, I can't afford to do that now. So this one leaves a little bit more openness. Yeah, they've agreed to give some kind of compensation. Just give me your offer, and then we'll negotiate at that time. I think this is a safer way to go. But there's some sellers that are like, I'm giving 4 bananas because I just want this property gone. That's an awesome way to do it and say, hey, everybody's getting that. So you're able to let them know. You're still not able to, even with this, you're not able to display it in the MLS or in your pictures. But when they call you up or anything or any flyers, you can go ahead and disclose it on there.
You can send this form out.
What form?
This, you can send it.
It's not a form. This is wording. What does it say up here? Listing agreement. Does everyone know the listing agreement? Stay with me. Shh. I don't mean to dumb it down. We all know what the listing agreement is, right? And on page 11 is additional terms. You can write one of these two or nothing after you talk to your seller. That's what it amounts to.
So, Tim, can we no numbers, but can we put this in the agent remarks that the seller is willing to negotiate compensation?
No. Zero. No.
Because some sellers, this is just like you had that conversation with your seller and explain that, hey, to help market your property a little bit better, we should offer a compensation. So let's just maybe, some of the sellers are like, I want to know that you are offering compensation, that you are doing the best to sell my property. So that's where this would come in. Yes, I'm going to put and disclose that to people that inquire about it.
One of you sent me a picture of a for sale sign, and there was a rider on the top that said 2.5% co-op. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
You sure? Really? Absolutely, you can do that. Yes.
You said it's
Yeah.
dangerous though to do that.
Well, again, you're committing your buyer, your seller, to paying that. So that's why this is tricky, like Wendy said. That's tricky if you put in 3%. But no one knows that but me and Janet, my seller, okay? But, okay, here's another thing. So I call up Janet and ask her about the property, any offers yet, Janet, anything special about your seller. What co-op are you paying me? What's the answer?
Put it in your pictures again.
Put it in the offer.
Right, I didn't disclose, I just came up against this. I have a listing and it was on the market for about a week.
Mhm.
had quite a few calls on it. We did just go into escrow, but, the conversation I had with the seller originally when I took the listing, and I didn't have this
Mhm.
verbiage, but I just said, you know what's going on, and blah, 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 and I said, are you willing to? And they said, yes, probably around like a 2.5%.
Okay.
And I said, okay, great. And I said, when someone calls, I will, if they ask me, are they paying a co-op, I will say yes, but I'm not gonna disclose how
Correct.
much. Because if they were willing to take 2%, then I've tipped, the hand of the seller, I'm not doing my fiduciary duties, so, at any rate. But
Exactly.
now, so what happened was, we got a full price offer,
Mhm.
and it's very clean, quick close,
Mhm.
It is financed, but it's a great offer. And the agent wrote 3% in. So I presented it and I said, you can counter this. I
Mhm.
said, what'll happen if you counter this is she'll go back to her buyer. Now your buyer's already offered you full price. Very clean offer, not asking for anything. I said, do you want them to have to now maybe pay $3,500 or $4,000 to their agent? Or she may reduce her commission, we don't know.
Mhm.
But I said, you are able to counter this if you want, it's up to you. They ended up not countering it.
Okay.
Because they liked the offer so
Sure.
much, and they didn't want to.
And they paid the 3. Yeah,
Because they weren't
perfect.
sure, so
Perfect.
that's what happened.
Perfect.
This was,
Yeah.
it leaves it
And,
open to
and,
negotiate.
and all I would suggest also, if you're a buyer's agent and you're calling listing agents and you get them on the phone, don't be a jerk to them. Not that you would be, but I could see, come on, Wendy, tell me what the co-op is. I mean, we've done 3 deals together, help me out here. And the same thing, if you're the listing agent, don't be a jerk to the buyer. Say, look, Tim, I'd love to, all I could tell you, like Patrick said, my seller's very open to any and all offers. If you put it on page 2 of the RPA, I'll make sure it gets to my seller, and hopefully we can have a win-win, situation for everybody involved. So you're giving the buyer's agent a little encouragement that you're going to work hard to get his deal accepted, okay? So I think we have to start being nicer to each other, which a lot of times agents are not nice to each other.
Agents that called on
You
mine,
know?
and I said, my seller is willing to
That's it.
negotiate, put it in your purchase agreement.
That's it.
And I just tell them, we're all on the same team.
That's it.
I want to sell my client's house and you want your buyer to get a house, so
Exactly.
We're not competing or fighting against each other.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna try to get you paid for whatever you put in there. Understand, they may not accept
Gotcha.
that, but we'll work something out.
And I think what we're going to do, and this is maybe a Maria thing, in transaction desk, we can add clauses, right? Like to templates. So this might be something we're going to put in there to make it easier for you. So you all should have a template of your buyer package and seller package. If you don't have that, see Maria. So when you do the listing agreement, you just click on the clause. You don't have to remember this or copy and paste it from a Word doc. So you mess up you have a typo or something. So we're going to add that to transaction desk. Okay? You good with that, Raymond? Yeah. Excellent, excellent. All right, kids, what else we got? Is that about it?
So just one more thought.
One more thought, Blanca.
The listing rental agreement, there might be some similar verbiage, correct?
The listing, well, we only have one listing agreement. For rentals or, it's the same one, right?
All right, so then that the seller might do compensation on
If you wanted to, I guess, yeah. You could put that in there too for a landlord. I guess you could, yeah. Okay. But that's a much easier conversation because it's $200. It's not 3% of 800,000, where it's a little trickier conversation, okay? All right, Ian, sorry for running over time.